Okay, there looks like there are quite a lot of people here. Um, Welcome to our virtual Department of Psychological and Brain Sciences undergraduate award ceremony. I'm Professor Tamsin German. I work here at the Department of Psychological and Brain Sciences, or as you might hear, faculty and some students lovingly refer to us as Psych and Brain Sciences. I get to teach as part of my job here the very opening psychology class that many of these students take in the spring quarter. And so I get to see them right at the beginning when they may be just about to start their psychology career. And again, my favorite job is acting as MC for this award ceremony when I get to do it. I'll be presenting some of the awards later on today. And this is, we hope, our first as well as our last and only virtual undergraduate award ceremony. We much prefer, of course, being able to do this with you all in person and really congratulate our distinguished and graduating seniors and all the wonderful achievements that they have accomplished in their time here. Before we get started, I'm going to make a couple of announcements. I just wanted to let you all know that your microphones and videos have been disabled. There will be occasionally a moment for an applause soundbite that we will play. Amanda will play that for you now so it doesn't startle you. Pretty cool, huh? So obviously it doesn't do justice to the amazing achievements of our students. So I would encourage you to clap and whoop and cheer and generally make a lot of noise wherever you may be watching this ceremony. The chat will be open and just I'm going to hand it over just briefly to Vanessa to say a few words about how the chat works.
So the chat box, when you click the bottom, you should click the chat, and hopefully you see the default, unfortunately, is that you send your message to only us as the panelists. So if you type in a message and you'd like it to go to everybody, please change the default. You click the little down arrow and it says all panelists and attendees. So if you click that, then your message will go to everyone, which is most likely what you want. Thanks, Tamsin.
No problem. I wanted to also let you know that we are recording this ceremony. So it's being recorded and will be posted. And I'm just putting the link for you in the chat. It's also up here on this slide. And we'd encourage you to use the chat box, as Vanessa indicated, to further recognize our students' accomplishments. With that, before handing over to the chair of our department for some opening remarks and the first few awards, I would like to acknowledge Professor Vanessa Woods and Professor Nicole Albada, who did a lot of work putting this ceremony together, as well as the most important people, the staff and peer advisors in the department who do the actual hard work, Chris McFerrin, Joaquin Emiliano Chavez, and Amanda Reeves. So thank you guys for all the hard work you did putting this together. With that, I want to also acknowledge Mike Miller's leadership as chair through this absolute nightmare of a situation that we've had to go through the last few months, and the department is still going strong thanks to his guidance. Thanks, Mike. So Mike Miller, chair of Psych and Brain Sciences.
Hi. Thank you, Tamsin, and welcome. I am honored and privileged to welcome you to this virtual ceremony to celebrate the achievement of these amazing students. As Professor German said, we would have loved to have done this in person and to have met all of you, but I'm glad that we can at least do this virtually, because it's such an important event for our department, and we really look forward to this every year. Of course, I can't let this go by without mentioning that, we're here to celebrate the achievements of some extraordinary students at a truly extraordinary moment in our collective history. There's no denying that the failings of our society are being exposed, leading to a lot of anxiety, and unrest, from the senseless killing of George Floyd to the complete lack of preparation for a pandemic that we've been warned was coming, and just to the general debasing of our politics and social norms. But the one thing that I think gives me hope, and many of my colleagues as well, is the time that we spent with a lot of these students that we're celebrating today, and their generation as a whole. Frankly, I think and it's because of these students and the young people like them that I'm confident we're going to be okay in the end. Now on to their achievements. Just to highlight the scope of these achievements, you should know that we have 2,218 majors and pre-majors. This weekend, we'll be conferring degrees to 447 graduating seniors with a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, a Bachelor of Science in Psychological and Brain Sciences, or a Bachelor of Science in Biopsychology. And out of those 447 graduating seniors, we're here to honor the outstanding achievement of these remarkable 73 students. Now, not to toot our own horn, but I'm going to anyway. I honestly believe that we have the best experimental psychology department in the country. My colleagues are internationally recognized scholars, dedicated teachers. They include elected members of the National Academy of Sciences and the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. The research that's being conducted here in our department is cutting edge and leading the field in social psychology, cognitive neuroscience, educational psychology, neuropsychopharmacology, evolutionary psychology, and much, much more. And that research includes like an MRI and the scanner in the basement, an optogenetics lab, a virtual reality lab, and so much more. We have many things to be proud of in our department, but the thing that we're most proud of is the achievement of our students. And despite the huge number of students in our department, your sons and daughters, your brothers and sisters, your grandchildren, or your friends have stood out in really amazing ways. They've raised their hands in class and asked insightful questions. They've come to our office hours or Zoom meetings and engaged in really thoughtful discussions. They have volunteered their time to help mentor other students. They've taken leadership roles in student groups and organizations. They've helped those less fortunate in our community. And they've worked countless hours in our research labs, taking every opportunity to develop research skills and to take an active part in the cutting edge research that's taking place here. These are students that we've come to know actually quite well. And we, the faculty, are in awe of them and we're inspired by them. And he has so much to be proud of. But I also want to acknowledge the role that you've played in getting these students to this place over time. Sacrifices that you've made, the support that you continue to give them. Dropping them off on their first day at kindergarten with their lunchbox and eyes wide open, to the chauffeuring around you did during elementary school, to soccer practices and piano lessons and math Super Bowl practices, and to friends' houses, to during junior high school when they learned to perfect the eye roll. If you ever wondered if you'd ever be able to get them out of bed or find a career that requires expertise in something other than how to use their phone, to watching them blossom in high school and start to form their own path in life, to all the money, time, patience, and angst that you've expended to get them through college. You've done an amazing job in raising these students, and I know how grateful they are for you and for your love and support. So with that, let's go to the Chairperson's Awards. The Chairperson's Award is given to students who have provided service to the Department of Psychological and Brain Sciences over the years. There are 4 different categories for this award: Senior Peer Advisor, Transfer Student Ambassadors, and Officers of the Society of Undergraduate Psychologists and Psych-I. So let's go to the Senior Peer Advisors. Let's begin with this award. Peer advisors are an integral part of our department. They are the first face our students see when visiting the department, and they act as an extension of our staff advisors. They help to ensure that our students are progressing on time by providing course recommendations. They help students to navigate the intricacies of our PBS majors and provide insight more generally on what life is like as a student at UCSB. The peer advisors are also provide the PBS staff advisors with a valuable student perspective. This year, we have one senior peer advisor, Joaquin Emiliano Chavez. Joaquin has been an advisor in the department for 2 years, and we thank him for his service to advising within the department, and we wish him all the luck in the future. Transfer student ambassadors, our senior PBS transfer students. These students mentor and guide our transfer students in their first year at UCSB. Transfer student ambassadors commit to extensive training, taking a mentoring class in the spring of their junior year, and train over the summer with our advising office so that they can provide advice and a friendly face at our transfer orientations. Each transfer mentor has provided countless hours of service to the department, dedicated to the idea that all transfer students can be successful. This year, there are 6 transfer student ambassadors that we would like to recognize. Courtney Chan, Catherine Ann Hopkins, William Montooth Keating, Sarah Moss, Faith Miles, and Sean Riley. Thank you for your service to helping the transfer students in PBS navigate our program requirements and the university. The Society of Undergraduate Psychologists, or SUP, began in 2017. And the purpose is to serve as a resource to all students interested in or currently pursuing psychology by fostering a social and academic community, developing professional skills, and helping students get involved in various research and volunteer organizations. SUP has a mentorship program called Access Grad that links PBS graduate students with undergraduate students to help them navigate the process of applying to graduate school. There are over 75 SUP members and 25 graduate student mentors that are active in this program. SUP hosts research talks with PBS professors and started a new peer-to-peer mentoring program this year called SUP Buddies, where members of the officer team engage in small groups with SUP members to provide social and academic support. The graduating officers of SUP has worked tirelessly in this organization to enhance the experience of all of our undergraduate students. This year, 4 of the officers are graduating, including Ariana Chameleon, founder and president, Jihoy Wang, fundraising committee lead, Nicholas Cristolo, vice president of fundraising, and Shobha Umbi, vice president of communication. Please join me in congratulating and thanking these graduating officers of SUP for their service to the undergraduate students in psych and brain sciences. I'm pleased to announce the recipients of the Chairperson's Award for the UCSB chapter of PsyChi. PsyChi is an international honor society in psychology that promotes excellence in scholarship in psychology. As an honor society, members are in the top 35% of their class and must maintain an overall GPA of 3.3. This year, the officers of the PsyChi chapter organized workshops that help members update their resumes, CVs, and personal statements, and had a graduate student panel discuss the ins and outs of selecting and applying to graduate school. They also pooled their resources with SUP this year to support the Alzheimer's Association's walk to end Alzheimer's back in November. and raised over $1,000 to support research and resources. Even when the university went online, PsyCI held a virtual event called Motivation in Quarantine, in which they had a resident expert discuss with members how they could continue to excel in their courses while learning online. The graduating officers this year have provided unmeasurable service to the top students in our department, and thus I am pleased to honor the following students with the Chairperson's Award. These students include Frederique Cochran, Co-President, Vanessa Veloz, Co-President, Yasna Mavrabani, Vice President, Corrine Pfeiffer, Secretary, Amelia Law, Treasurer, and Dana Quant, Events Coordinator. Congratulations and thank you for your service to the students in the Psych and Brain Sciences Department. All students have received a Chairperson's Award, will be mailed a certificate of appreciation. Again, thank you so much for your service and work in helping to assure that undergraduate students in PBS have every opportunity to excel with our program and beyond. I would now like to turn it back over to Professor Tamsen German, who will be presenting the remaining PBS awards.
Thank you very much, Mike. Hi again, everybody. I will be presenting the remaining awards, which include some very special individual awards, as well as awards for students who have completed an honors thesis and students who have earned exceptional GPAs. The first award that I'll be presenting is the Philip S. Rethis Memorial Award. The Rethis family established this award in memory of Philip Stephen Rethis, who was awarded a posthumous psychology BA in June of 1997. Philip overcame severe disability and illness to pursue his studies and worked actively in our department's undergraduate research programs. This award is thus given to a graduating senior who has overcome hardships in order to complete their degree. The Rethis Award is presented to one student in PBS that has shown excellence in character, determination, and scholarship throughout the time in our program. This makes me happy. I nominated, along with David Sherman, Jennifer Wong Chavez for this award, and I was delighted that she was selected as the winner. Jennifer is graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Psych and Brain Sciences. As I said, jointly nominated by myself and David Sherman, Dr. David Sherman, because she exemplifies each of the qualities required for the recipient of this award. She has excelled academically, earning a 3.66 overall GPA. I was fortunate enough to have her in my favorite upper division class, the Cognitive Science of Supernatural Concepts, and she wrote the most outstanding paper, one of the most insightful I've ever read. She earned an A+ in this class and landed in the very top few students out of 137. Her scholarship is also evident in her engagement with research, both in my lab and that of Professor Barry Giesbrecht and his attention work. As I noted in the letter that I wrote, she possesses genuine passion and interest in her work, a dedication and persistence in completing the tasks that are asked of her, enormous initiative and maturity. One of the reasons that she's receiving this award in particular is that she was able to accomplish and excel academically while simultaneously working all 3 of her years here at the De La Guerra Dining Commons at UCSB to support herself financially. And yes, I said 3 years. She was able to complete her degree 2 quarters early while achieving all those incredible achievements. There's perhaps no greater testament to her strength of character and determination, however, than acknowledging, as I think we should, that she did all of this also while an undocumented student and had to navigate a great deal of political and familial uncertainty over her time here at UCSB. She's traversed the legal system. She had to renew her DACA status. Dr. Sherman, who is her nominator, met Jennifer through the UCSB Undocumented Student Mentor Program, And in his letter, he wrote that among the students he mentored, Jen was a quiet leader of the group, always asking questions about academics and opportunities that would help not only herself, but the other students. I'm delighted to say that Jennifer will be joining the Psychological Research Master's Program at Cal State Long Beach in the fall. We know that she will succeed and wish her all the best. Jennifer will be receiving a certificate of recognition and a $500 Amazon gift card. Congratulations, Jessica. The next award is a distinction in the major. This is presented to all the students who have completed an honors thesis and thus qualify to graduate with distinction in the major. An honors thesis involves conceptualizing a research idea, collecting and analyzing data, and writing up the results of a research in a full-length manuscript. There are 22 students in this year's graduating with distinction in the major, and they include Veronica Butler, Emily Cowell, Elle Chavez, Joaquin Emiliano Chavez, Ryan Davis, Jason Dong, Morgan Fitzgerald, Aidan Galati, Bruno Gamboa, Tal Horowitz, Ariana Chameleon, Tommy Khan, Erin Kim, Neil Coley, Emily Law, Alexandra Landry, Matthias Macken, Mohini Vedia, Cameron Waldrop, Brenda Wu, Alaska Yokota, and Yuba Zhu. Congratulations to all these students on their hard work, dedication to research in psychological brain sciences. Your certificates, I believe, are in the mail. Next, we would like to recognize two students in particular for their research efforts who were chosen to receive the Morgan Award for Research Promise. This award is given to students who demonstrate the most promise in the area of experimental research in psychological and brain sciences. Two students are selected by a faculty committee from the department's two majors, Psychological and Brain Sciences BS and Biopsychology BS. Emily Law is the recipient of the Morgan Award for Research Promise for a Psych and Brain Sciences major. She is also graduating with a major in environmental studies and a 3.57 overall GPA. Her research in Dr. Sherman's lab has focused on how social psychological variables like coping strategies and construal impact the ideas that people have and the choices they make regarding environmental issues such as climate change. Emily noted about her thesis research that completing an honors thesis this year has allowed me to engage in every step of the research process and has prepared me to conduct independent research in the future. Her work is at the cutting edge of environmental social psychology and has been recognized as such. Emily was a recipient of a Library Award for Undergraduate Research, the recipient of an Undergraduate Research and Creative Activities grant, or an IRCA grant. You'll be hearing that acronym again in the future. And Dr. Sherman notes in his nomination letter, Emily seeks out and applies for opportunities and then surprises me with the good news that she's won an award. Emily presented her work at a very prestigious Society for Personality and Social Psychology conference that occurred in New Orleans in February of this year. And she was the only undergraduate student to participate in the Social Areas Data Blitz, a kind of quick data production where you discuss data in a few minutes in front of all the faculty and graduate students of the social area. Emily's research future looks extremely bright. She will begin a PhD at Cornell in the Department of Communication to work with Professor Jonathan Schult, who is one of the leading environmental psychologists in the world. Fun fact about Emily, she sat in a climate change strike with Greta Thunberg in Stockholm. Her research and advocacy passions all combine into one. Congratulations, Emily, and all the best in the future. The second Morgan Award for Research Promise is for a student in our biopsychology major, Morgan Fitzgerald. Morgan has worked in 2 different labs during her time at UCSB, Dr. Emily Jacobs' lab and Dr. Scott Grafton's Action Lab. In Dr. Jacobs' lab, she completed an honors thesis and has maintained a straight 4.0 GPA, received A pluses in 10 of her courses. Her research with Dr. Jacobs involved a highly novel analysis of dense sampling neuroimaging dataset 28andMe. Her work probes brain hormone interactions. Specifically, she found post-mortem evidence that the cerebellum is enriched with progesterone receptors, and that day-to-day changes in progesterone across the human menstrual cycle is associated with decreased coherence across the cerebellum. Her work again was supported by an undergraduate research and creative activities grant, and as she stated, this grant afforded her the ability to fund critical aspects of the research. As Dr. Jacobs, Morgan's nominator stated, Morgan has a gut-level desire to ensure that women's health research is no longer playing catch-up within the medical sciences. After graduation, Morgan hopes to work as a research assistant before entering graduate school to earn a PhD in neuroscience. A fun fact about Morgan, she played competitive tennis for 9 years. My old job. This competitive spirit will serve her well in the future. Congratulations, Morgan. Emily and Morgan, for that award, will be receiving a certificate in recognition, and each will receive a $200 Amazon gift card. Again, congratulations. Exceptional academic performance. This is an award for exceptional academic performance. It's given to students with at least 36 upper division psychology units completed, with earned a 3.9 GPA in those upper division courses. That is really not easy to do. This year we have 41 students of our 322 graduating seniors who have achieved exceptional academic performance. And these students include Sabrina Biederman, Gabrielle Ann Birog, Daniela Block, Anna Chaklovich, Alyssa Chamberlain, Kayla Chambers, Joaquin Emiliano Chavez, Lauren Cooper, Alec Dallas, Fiona Dua, Oan Fang, Aiden Galati, Jacqueline Gomez, Kelly Graffa, Kalia Grant, Issa Guilfoyle, Kalista Holder, Tal Horowitz, Eli Kasheri, Chloe Kleinman, Adam Kopel, Charlotte Marston, Jacob Matalon, Alondra Mercado, Sarah Milbrot, Ingrid Opheim, Corinne Pfeiffer, Andres Jr. Quezada, Jackson Reese, Naima Rosenberg, I'm sorry, Jenna Sanfilippo, Elizabeth Slover, Maren Smith, Maya Sadia, Jack Tedesco, Vanessa Veloz, Adele Viviani, Ziyi Wang, Jessica Weiss, Nissa Williams, and Brenda Wu. Congratulations to all the recipients of the Exceptional Academic Performance Award. Again, your certificate is in the mail. Academic performance is also being awarded in the Morgan Award for Academic Excellence. This award is given to one student, again in Psych and Brain Sciences major, and one student in our biopsychology major in recognition of outstanding scholarship as selected by a faculty committee. The first one of these awards is Alyssa Chamberlain. Alyssa Chamberlain is the recipient of the Morgan Award for Academic Excellence in our PBS major. Her nominator, Dr. Zoe Lieberman, met Alyssa when she was a student in her developmental psychology class. She was one of the very top performing students in this course. Out of 350 students, Alyssa had the third highest grade, over 100%. This level of academic excellence seems to be reflective of Alyssa's performance in all her courses. She has maintained a 4.0 GPA throughout her career. As a student in the honors program, Alyssa also completed an honors contract in developmental psychology with Dr. Lieberman. This included presenting about research articles in Dr. Lieberman's Social Cognitive Development Lab, of which Dr. Lieberman says that Alyssa was great at presenting research and asking compelling and thoughtful questions. Alyssa became an active member and lead research assistant. She helped to run and manage a living lab at the Santa Barbara Zoo and at Moxie, in which children and their parents participate in science while learning about the scientific method. In describing her experiences in Dr. Lieberman's lab, Alyssa says, "I recruited for, ran, and coded studies on infants and children, which gave me the opportunity to connect with parents and children in the Santa Barbara community. In her spare time, I don't know how she has any, Alyssa enjoys yoga and vegetarian cooking. After graduation, she is moving back to the Bay Area to work as a user experience researcher. We wish her all the best and congratulations, Alyssa." The Morgan Award for Academic Excellence in our department's biopsychology major goes to Emily Popa. Emily is graduating with a 3.93 in her upper division courses. Her nominator, Dr. Kipper, noted that Emily is an excellent student in the top 5% of all students that he has encountered at her level. Emily seems to be particularly to excel in courses related to biopsychology. As Dr. Kippen noted, she is able to master complex materials spanning the neural bases of behavior, ranging from molecular level analyses of sensory motor, motivation, emotion, and cognitive processes. Emily's in-class achievement is mirrored in her work as a research assistant in Dr. Kippen's lab. She engaged in research aimed at developing biosensors for monitoring molecules in the brain or blood, and her tasks included animal handling, post-operative care, drug administration, assisting with electrochemical measurements, and histology. Emily noted that assisting in research under the guidance of Dr. Kippen and his outstanding postdoc and graduate students provided integral mentorships that excited, motivated, and challenged me to improve academically during my time at UCSB. In August, Emily will begin a one-year master's program in neuroimaging and informatics at the USC Keck School of Medicine, and then will begin the process of applying to PhD programs in clinical neuroscience. Emily obviously has many talents, one of which is that she can fold her tongue, apparently, into a three-leaf clover. See, that's the kind of thing we needed to have this ceremony in person to see. Congratulations, Emily. We know that great things await you in the future. Both Alyssa and Emily will be receiving a certificate in recognition of their outstanding academic achievements, and each will receive a 200 Amazon gift card. Again, congratulations. Okay. Distinguished Graduating Senior. The last award that I will be presenting today is the Distinguished Graduating Senior Award. This award is given in recognition of academic excellence, service to the department, the university, and the community. Thus, these students spend their time here at UCSB not only focusing on their studies and scholarship, but also finding ways to give back to a department, the university, and the community more broadly. It's a sort of best all-around award. And this year, the selection committee was delighted to be able to choose 3 students to achieve this award. The first Distinguished Graduating Senior Award goes to Frederique Corcoran. She is graduating from UCSB with a 3.96 GPA in the PBS major and a minor in applied psychology. She was nominated for this award by Dr. Nicole Albada. They met when Frederique was a student in Dr. Albada's statistics class. She had the second highest grade in the class, a 97%, and soon after joined Dr. Albada's Thinking About Life Experiences, or TALE lab. In the lab, Frederique conducted an independent research project that again was supported by an IRCA grant, looking at the link between the way people from 18 to 81 remember life events and their psychological well-being. This work was accepted as a poster presentation at the Western Psychological Association. She is also the first author on a manuscript related to this work that is currently being revised for submission to the International Journal of Behavioral Development. Frederique has a passion for applying psychological knowledge for the betterment of individuals and communities. During her time at UCSB, she was a research assistant on a project in the Department of Counseling, Clinical and School Psychology under the direction of Dr. Mia Barnett, working to promote access to mental health care services. She has volunteered numerous hours advancing the well-being of others, for example, by helping adults with special needs and working with children to help improve emotional and behavioral skills. She has been a direct care counselor at Alsana, a residential treatment center for eating disorders in Santa Barbara, and has been a mental health advocate for the UCSB Active Minds Incorporated, helping to rid the stigma associated with mental health among the campus community. Frederique's commitment to service is also evident within our department. She has been a member of SUP and over the past year, co-president of Psi-Chi. One of her goals for the organization was to work to increase member engagement and help students navigate their postgraduate careers. She has accomplished both. Membership in Psi-Chi has nearly doubled over the past year under her leadership. As her nominator, Dr. Albada notes, Frederique is an extremely well-rounded student who has spent her time at UCSB not only excelling academically, but also immersed in research and application of her knowledge. She has given back to several communities and to students at UCSB and to our PBS students in particular. Frederique has already begun working as a research assistant on a project about rural community stress at the University of Minnesota Department of Family Medicine and Biobehavioral Health. She will be applying to a doctoral program in order to obtain a PhD in developmental or clinical psychology. Frederique grew up in Europe and is fluent in 3 languages. We know that she will be successful as she enters the world beyond UCSB. Congratulations, Frederique. The second Distinguished Graduating Senior Award goes to Ariana Chameleon. Ariana is a double major in psychological brain sciences and political science. She's graduating with a 3.96 GPA. Her passion for excelling academically is exemplified by the work that she's done with Dr. Brenda Major, one of her nominators in the Self and Social Identity Lab. In Dr. Major's lab, she was a primary experimenter for a longitudinal study investigating factors that promote resilience among first-year Latinx students during their transition to college. She received an undergraduate research and creative activities IRCA grant to fund a project to examine how perceptions of reverse discrimination increase among whites in response to the implementation of diversity initiatives. And she presented this work at the highly competitive UCLA Psychology Undergraduate Research Conference. In addition, she completed an honors thesis examining how and why believing that a school system is mediocre affects perceptions of educational outcomes of students coming from under-resourced schools. As Dr. Major states, Ariana has been irreplaceable as a research assistant for the lab and has served as a mentor for younger research assistants with hands-on guidance and a welcoming personality. The welcoming personality is also what drew Dr. Vanessa Woods, Ariana's other nominator, to her. Dr. Woods, in her nomination letter, tells the story of how she and Ariana met at a Pizza with Professors event for the Psychological and Brain Sciences department. During our conversation, she asked if there was a psychology club, and I said no, but I wanted to start one. And right there, the Society of Undergraduate Psychologists, SUP, started to form. Ariana is the founder of SUP. She served as the vice president in the first year and as president the last 3 years. Under the guidance of Ariana, the SUP organization has been a central organization within PBS and is invaluable to our students' successes and well-being. She is brilliant at turning ideas into action. She helped to develop the graduate mentorship program, the peer-to-peer mentorship with officers of SUP, organized a SUP table at Gaucho Kids Fest, the list goes on. As Ariana says, my peers and I built and developed a community within the psychology department. I met some of my closest friends in this community, and we learned to support our peers academically, professionally, and emotionally. Ariana's legacy within the department will remain long after she graduates. Speaking of, Ariana is a Teach for America New York Core member. She will be teaching high school chemistry while she pursues her master's in education after graduation. Her future students will be so fortunate to have her, and we wish her the best of luck. Oh, and if you ever need advice, apparently she's the person to go to. She wrote the advice column for the school newspaper. Congratulations, Ariana. The final winner of the Distinguished Graduating Senior Award is Vanessa Velos. Vanessa will be graduating with a 3.97, with a Psych and Brain Sciences degree and a minor in Applied Psychology. Vanessa's academic excellence extends beyond the classroom. She's been a research assistant in both Dr. Richard Mayer's lab for research in learning and instruction and Dr. Diane Mackey's social evaluations and emotions lab. Dr. Mackey, one of Vanessa's 2 nominators, notes the many roles and tasks that Vanessa has contributed to in the lab, included playing a critical role in running lab studies that investigated the impact of motivations and emotions on intergroup interactions. She logged participant data, set up video equipment, transcribed and coded the video data after undergoing intensive coding training. Vanessa also completed an independent research project with graduate student Vinnie Wu, Professor Shelley Gable, and Professor Diane Mackey, examining how members of different ethnic groups react to feedback that they had or not had successfully navigated an inter-ethnic interaction. This project again was funded with an IRCA grant and again was accepted as a poster presentation at the competitive Western Psychological Association Convention and IRCA conventions. As Vanessa's nominators note, while Vanessa's performance in the lab and the classroom has been impressive, her contributions to PBS and UCSB communities have been even more so. Vanessa is a natural leader, and her role as the co-president of the UCSB Psych-Hi chapter over the past year has changed Psych-Hi from, as Dr. Albada, the supervisor of Psych-Hi, notes, an organization that students seem to join to include a line on their CV, to an organization that PBS can be very proud of because of its service to our students. With Vanessa's guidance, Psych-Hi helped to organize graduate student panels for members to learn about graduate school options, GRE study tips panels, regular finals week study jams. As Vanessa states, being co-president of Psych-Hi has allowed her the opportunity to serve students in the department by providing invaluable resources and connecting them with others. This has fostered the growth of academic, research, and professional excellence in not only myself, but more importantly, the dozens of members within the organization. Perhaps most impressive about Vanessa is that she has accomplished everything while being a full-time work-study student, from administrator in the UCSB Summer Day Camp Center to working as a guide and mentor in UCSB summer orientation programs to being supervisor for special events in the Department of Recreation. Vanessa has been essential to many of the programs that are quintessentially Gaucho. Vanessa's future looks bright as she begins working full-time in the behavioral health field to get patient experience before applying to graduate school. We'll just ask her to be careful, as apparently she's been stung by a scorpion and lost feeling in both her legs. That doesn't sound good. Congratulations, Vanessa. All the best for the future. Frederique, Ariana, and Vanessa will be receiving a certificate in recognition of their outstanding scholarship, service to the community's UCSB, and the PBS department. Each will also receive a $200 Amazon gift card. Again, congratulations. Thank you for the patience in getting through all of those fantastic awards. I'm humbled by the amazing achievements of all of these incredible students. And I will now turn back to Professor Miller, the Chair of Psych and Brain Sciences, for a few closing remarks.
Thank you, Tamsin. So before closing, I want to recognize 5 of our PBS students who also won university level awards. This includes Shoba Ambi, who received the Vice Chancellor's Award for Scholarship, Leadership, and Citizenship. Courtney Chan was chosen to be a commencement speaker this weekend. And then finally, but not least, Megan Fitzgerald, Sean Riley, and Vanessa Velos all received the University Award of Distinction. We're so proud of you and the way that you've represented our department at the university level. Congratulations. But so in closing, and by the way, Amanda, I'd really love to have that applause app for the faculty meetings. But in closing, I really, truly want to thank Professor German for emceeing this event once again. I also want to thank her and Professors Nicole Abada and Vanessa Woods for getting this together, along with our outstanding Student Affairs Manager, Chris McFerrin, and our undergraduate advisors, Amanda Rees and Joaquin Emiliano Chavez, for really just the amazing job they did. And, you know, those are my scripted thank yous, but, you know, in an unscripted way, I just have to tell you that, you know, a few weeks ago, we really had no idea how we could pull this thing off. You know, there was so much going on, and the way that things are, and you know, these events take a lot of work by our staff and faculty, and but you know, they really, you know, it's such a heroic effort. They really, through sheer will and effort, got this through on top of everything else that they're trying to do to get us through this quarter at this time. And I just can't thank you enough for doing this. And you know, and they did it because they're so proud of these students and their achievements, and it's so important to us to be able to share that with them and with their families. So I'm just so grateful again, and thank you for your efforts. So I think you know, we had I'm told that we had 188 attendees, which is great. I don't think we've ever had that many attendees at one of these events, and I'm sure there were some people that were sharing a screen, so it's probably well over that. I think that's just a testament to how proud everybody is of these students. And to all of you students, you know, just you know, as you go off and embark, you know, on this next stage of your life, please keep in touch. You know, don't forget us. We would really, really love to hear from you. We'd like to know how you're doing, what you're doing, and you know, I think it's really true for us that the alumni of our department are very important to us, and are a big part of our identity as a department, and we want to stay connected. So please don't forget us. We certainly won't forget you. So on that note, congratulations on your wonderful achievements, and thank you.
Not enough time. much to say.